at night. They left the lights on. They left the dogs, by the way. You know, the people
They left
about
the
the dogs. They left the dogs. Everyone, you know, the dog lovers, and you got a lot of them. I love dogs. You love dogs. But they left the dogs. People.
Look, my wife has a rule in our family. To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Valerie.
Everyone, you know, the dog lovers, and you got a lot of them. I love dogs. You love dogs. You got a lot of them. I love dogs. You love dogs.
This thing on? Hello? Is it? Hello? Testing. Testing. Hello? Hello? Max, where are you? Max, where the hell are you? Hello? Is this, can you hear me? Is it, no. Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episodic installation of everybody's favorite morning show program. This is the Above It All program for the morning. We are mourning today on today's morning. It is, what is it, April? It's April today. So in case anyone didn't know, it's actually April, today. I'm not sure about tomorrow. I don't know about the forecast for tomorrow, but currently, as of today, it is April. And so we can take that information to the bank. But I don't believe in banks. Anyway, so we got a news show going on here. This is a news program. On news programs, I often cover the news on these programs. You know, a little out of the box thinking. Not many people choose to do that with their news shows. But on my news show, I actually like to cover the news. Everybody, I would like to be completely honest. I am consuming alcohol this morning. So bear with me. If I start acting bizarre, it's possible that I will be being bizarre at some point in the future. Who knows? But today is April. We're doing a news program today. I would like to also say this. I will not be doing a show probably until Tuesday. It's possible I might do some, a one-off thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I will be taking off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm taking off a long weekend. So, just throwing that one out there. So, bear with me. But I will be back on Tuesday. And we're going to go from there. So, I'm going to do a little bit of a longer show. And by longer, I mean more than an hour. Normally, I guess my shows are around an hour, 50 to 90 minutes-ish is the average. I'm going to try to go for 90 to 120 today. I got a couple things I want to talk about. I got some news. We got some clips. Anybody here like clips? Anybody? Anyone here like clips? We got clips today. Anyone? That's the thing about doing these news shows is like clips. Everyone loves them. Everyone loves those fuckers. You just, what is that? 30 seconds, 20 seconds? Can I get a clip over here? I often, to be honest with you, I'm fine reading the words. I don't really need the clips, but people love their clips. Anyway, so we got some clips here. But I'll be getting into the clips later. I love clips. I mean, I just love saying the word. I mean, can I get a clip over here? Like, come on now. All right. So I got an update, everyone, on a very pressing news story. Drake Bell found safe. Apparently, he was at SeaWorld. This was a big story yesterday, but, so everyone there. But let's start off today's program with some very interesting stuff. So, again, let's start off today's program with Nancy Pelosi, who is apparently still alive. Last time I checked, I haven't really heard much from her since she resigned her speaker position and majority leader position with that. But she's still alive, Nancy Pelosi, and she has something to say. Pelosi on calls for Feinstein to resign. Quote, "I've never seen them go after a man who is sick in the Senate." Representative Nancy Pelosi, the former speaker, questioned calls for Senator Dianne Feinstein to step down over her health, arguing she has never seen a man in that position face similar calls. Well, first of all, I'm not even sure if that's true. Like, Mitch McConnell apparently is still in the hospital. Like, he can't move. Has anyone been keeping up with this? Mitch fell down at some, private, white tie dinner bullshit, and now he can't move. He's paralyzed. He might die any minute now. I say this. He should resign. So, a lot of people have asked for Mitch McConnell. We actually have a very interesting situation where we have two senators, one high-ranking senator from each party, and both of them are sick, and both of them are not doing their jobs, and both of them are facing calls to resign from both of their parties and from the opposite parties, right? So it's not like we even have to deal with a hypothetical here. Like, we are dealing with a scenario where people are asking Mitch McConnell to resign, and people are asking Dianne Feinstein to resign. So this is, I don't know, I find this to be uniquely interesting, but of course Nancy Pelosi is going to do whatever she can. She's going to weaponize her woke rainbow capitalism garbage to try to, subvert the narrative here. This is the same bullshit. Like, remember when they did the Bernie bro bullshit? That's just the same kind of strain. Anyone who's progressive, really, they're just a man who hates women. Really, that's all fundamentally, that's what all progressives are. They're just men who hate women, which, hey, most of the time, you might be right on that one, but in this instance, I'm not so sure. Two House Democrats, Representative Ro Khanna and Dean Phillips, have called on Feinstein to resign because of her prolonged absence from the Senate due to her health. Khanna was the first to call on the 89-year-old to step down before her term ends in 25. Khanna also has some of his own political ambitions here as well. So, of course, he's going to jump on that ASAP. While she has had a lifetime of public service, it's obvious she can no longer fulfill her role or duties. I mean, that's the other thing, is that is obvious. Like, anyone who's not calling for Dianne Feinstein to resign is a dumbass piece of shit. Like, I'm just like, again, I say this. If you're going into work at Bojangles and you're just standing there in front of the fucking chicken fryer and your boss comes over and is like, "Why aren't you doing your job?" And you're like, "Oh, well, I'm Dianne Feinstein." Do you think your boss would fire you? Or do you think you'd keep your job for another 4 years? Like, I'm curious, if you cannot do the fucking job that you are tasked to do, you should not be in the position to do that job. Does that mean you should be homeless? Does that mean you should be jobless, unemployed? No, that means you should find a employment that more suitably works for you. Also, if you're 89, maybe you shouldn't be having any employment. But hey, that's a different story. But, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, my God, right? Jesus, dealing with this shit, man. Feinstein responded to the calls on Wednesday by announcing that the Senate should appoint a temporary replacement. I love the temporary replacement part. To her position on the Senate Judiciary Committee, while her return to Washington, D.C. is delayed because of health complications. I mean, I don't want to be like the crazy person here to say it, but the best case scenario is that Dianne Feinstein, she doesn't recover. That's the best for the country. Like, practically speaking, put all this moral grandstanding, virtue signaling aside. The best case scenario for approximately 330 odd million people in this country is that she does not recover and she just doesn't make it, because we don't really need to deal with these stupid fucking, it's sexist to ask a 90-year-old demented freak to step down from her fucking position. And it's not, that's the other thing, is Dianne Feinstein is such a, like, a uniquely unimpressive senator. Like, she hasn't really done anything like really noteworthy in her life, at least to my, you know, some boomers might go out there and say, in 1980, well, you know, you got me, like, they might be doing that fucking shit. I don't know, man. Like, the only, like, I don't know. Like, she's not impressive. She's not, like, it's not like she's Bernie Sanders, you know, like someone who actually does something with their fucking lives. She's a fucking loser. No one fucking likes her. She's a bitch. And I say that not in the misogynist sense, because I love bitches. I'm a bitch. All my friends are bitches. I love bitches. But in the sense that she can't do her fucking job. Like, she just can't do her fucking job. So get rid of her. It's not sexist to get rid of her. And Max the dog is making some noise back there. Can anyone hear this? What is this dog doing? Max, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing, Max? He's up to something. I don't know if any of those noises got picked up there, but Max the dog is currently dogging it up in the background. So there you go. Oh. What's this? What's this? It's a little dog toy. Look at this. It's spicy bark flavor. Look at this dog. Wait, you can't see him. Look at this dog. Spicy bark flavor. Look at this. And that is Max the dog, everybody. Wow. It's a new show. This is the Above It All news program for April. It's April, everybody. April. My nose is looking a little red. It's allergy season. Anyone out there struggling lately? It's allergy season for me. I'm waking up dead every morning. Speaking of waking up in the morning, for all the gamers out there, the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection came out on Steam, and I played it a little bit this morning and installed it last evening. And it's a game. It's a classic series of games. I'm a huge Mega Man fan, so just thought I'd throw that out there to all the gamers out there. You know, where are the gamers at? You know, what's up, fellow gamers? But enough about the gamers. Let's talk about some other crazy ass shit. We got some clips for today's show. We're gonna go into some clips later, but we're not doing the clips now. You know, we got to do some other stuff before we get to the clips, because again, everyone loves clips. You know, someone's like, oh, did I hear clips? You know, like, you know, he's Realon's over there, like, you know, very eagerly awaiting the clips. Everyone loves them, but we're not going to get to the clips until we get through some of the other stuff first, because, you know, the clips are, you know, we got to save the best for last here. But I'm going to take another sip of my mystery drink. Goddamn ozone alert. Holy shit. The fuck is an ozone alert? Anyway, goddamn. So, we got some very, well, I don't even know how to describe it, but we've got some very, let's say, unimpressive, kind of news here. And, you know, maybe unimpressive is not the best word, because it is impressive in the sense that, wow, well, they're actually doing this fucking shit and they're getting away with it, because of course they are. But it's unimpressive in the sense, you know, that, you know, these people are fucking lunatics. But anyway, what's going on in Missouri? Let's find out. Missouri to limit gender-affirming care for minors and adults. Minors and adults. Interesting. Missouri's Attorney General announced new restrictions Thursday on gender-affirming care for adults, in addition to minors, in a move that is believed to be a first nationally, that's also the way you would pronounce it, and has advocacy groups threatening to sue. Attorney General Andrew Bailey announced plans to restrict health care for transgender people weeks ago when protesters rallied at the Capitol to urge lawmakers to pass law banning puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries for children. Now, this is the thing that's also fascinating is, again, we all need to remember that puberty blockers, right? Why was that invented? Like, because if you're dumb, if you're a right-winger and you have no idea what the fuck's going on in the world, you might assume that puberty blockers were invented like yesterday or last week or something, and they're just to trans the kids. But actually, I know, facts, right? This is going to be crazy for you. Puberty blockers were invented for another kind of illness, which is precocious puberty. People that would start going through puberty as young as 6, 7 years old. There's some sort of, abnormality, some mutation, whatever. It causes their puberty timeline to accelerate, but other parts of their aging timeline to not accelerate. So it can actually cause a lot of issues with development, the way your bones are growing, with neurological development. If you're going through puberty too early before your actual physical body can handle some of these changes. So that's why they invented puberty blockers for precocious puberty. So in the effort to ban the -6 trans people that live in Missouri, or -6 trans kids, I should say, and God bless them, right? I'm not saying that they don't matter, but what I'm saying is it's such a, let's imagine, okay, let's assume it is a problem that kids are transgender. It's not, right? But let's assume it is. There's -7 people in the whole state that this would affect. You know what else is a problem? Literally everything else, right? So again, this isn't about fixing problems. And again, this isn't even a problem to begin with. This is purely about hatred for people. And again, it's not even just kids. But also, again, these bills ban puberty blockers for cisgender kids that need it for things like precocious puberty, which happens more than people younger than 18 would transition. There are more people in this country that deal with precocious puberty than there are transgender people. And so again, it's just fucking insane. These people are crazy. But again, it's not just kids. I know their whole hoopla, we gotta protect the kids, but it's not just kids. They're banning transgender healthcare for adults. They're banning transgender healthcare for adults in Missouri because these people are fucking freaks, right? And again, I don't really understand. If you are somebody who in the year 2023, if you consider yourself somewhat, even 5% of you that's politically conscious or aware of the world or informed, and you don't recognize this as an obvious attempt at genocide, you are insane, you are crazy, and you are dumber than dog shit. But good news, everybody, because you are in the same position of most people. Dumb, uninformed, but super confident in being wrong on everything. These people are insane, and they want to kill people that are a part of minority groups that they don't like. Let's keep going here. We have serious concerns about how children are being treated throughout the state, but we believe everyone is entitled to evidence-based medicine and adequate mental health care. But that's the thing. You ever see these fucking freak shows on the internet that they harass transgender people and they're like, get help. All you need to do is get help. That's essentially what this is. Get help. All you need is medical or mental health care. You are mentally insane. Get help. Right? But what do they think the help process is? Because I don't know about you. When I got help, they put me on motherfucking hormones. That's what the help is. So again, you can't say we believe everyone is entitled to evidence-based medicine and should get mental health care and then ban the mental health care and the evidence-based medicine. Obviously, they're lying. Anyone who doesn't understand that they're lying, anyone that falls for their lies is dumber than dog shit. The rule, which includes a required 18 months of therapy before receiving gender-affirming healthcare, is set to take effect April 27 and expire next Friday. ACLU and Lambda Legal said in a joint statement they would take any necessary action, blah, blah, blah. So, the other thing about this is that they're also banning gender-affirming healthcare for adults that have specific diagnoses such as autism and depression, which, by the way, oftentimes I don't know if you know this, but most transgender people are depressed. Maybe it has to do with the fact that a good amount of society wants to murder us, possibly, right? It's possible. Like, think about it, right? If you're living in a society where everyone around you, including your family in a lot of instances, they literally want to kill you. If they knew anything about you, they would murder you on the spot. Think about it. Probably going to cause some depression, right? So again, but they're making it a big deal, like, oh, they're depressed. This is the other thing about, like, these fucking weird, like, these weird motherfuckers that are like, if you're depressed, that, like, all of a sudden you lose all agency, you know, like, oh, you're depressed, so you can't decide what to do for anything at all. Like, oh, you're depressed, so the only way to be undepressed is something we're gonna ban. Really, like, it's, again, it's dumbass fucking shit. And again, they're doing all this fucking shit under the guise of, we gotta help the kids. We gotta help the kids. Because the best way to help the kids is to harass them and ban them from going to the doctor. That's the best way to help the kids, I guess. Anyway, there you go. That's some news coming out of Missouri. Some crazy ass shit. I really don't know what else to tell you. But these people are nuts. And, you know, if you want to sign out of reading the news, feel free, because Jesus Christ. Only if you're trans, though. If you're cis, you got to keep reading the news. If you're trans, you know what? Fuck the news. Go do something else with your life. Trust me, you're going to feel a lot better. But for all you cis people, don't think this is a get out of jail free card. Don't think, oh, you know, oh, this is so depressing, you know, because you're the motherfuckers that got to fix this shit. So remember that, okay? So anyway, there you go. There's that little news story for you. We're doing a news show today for April. It's April today, so that's pretty great news for today. But there you go. Let me load this bowl. I'm gonna load this bowl. I like to drink my weed. I'm a little bit of a unique case. I like to consume my weed sublingually. That's how I consume my marijuana products. Some people smoke it. Some people let a burning alcoholic substance melt under their tongue. We are not the same. So, but I am also consuming alcohol this morning. Once again, folks, I am preparing myself for a long weekend. I will be taking tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I will be taking Sunday and Monday off. I will be back on Tuesday, everybody. Now, again, it's possible I might show up on a Twitch stream to play a video game for an hour. That's possible. Don't read too much into it. It's possible I might, like, let's say there's an epic news story. Sometimes I read the news during my off days, so it's like, if there's an epic ass news, you know, I'll make a video or whatever. But I am taking a long weekend today. Well, not today, actually. Well, I mean, I'm starting it today. Anyway, my point is that I'm getting drunk this morning in order to kick off. Well, actually, I kind of kicked it off a couple days ago, but I decided to do some shows. Well, yesterday I actually started this whole train. But this morning I was like, fuck it, I'll do one more show, you know, and I'll be, anyway, so I think I'm talking too much about stuff that people don't really need to know about or are interested in, but we got a show here. By the way, we got some clips coming up here. We got some clips. Everybody, I know, people love them. You know, like, when you're doing these news shows, people will literally, like, they will flip the fuck out. Like, we're talking, like, you ever see these news shows? You know, people are like, oh, they're interviewing someone who's boring. Oh, they're reading an article, boring. And then all of a sudden you show a clip, everyone's like, did I hear clip? Someone say clip? Can I get a clip over here? But anyway, we got some clips here. I'm gonna be getting to some clips today. Folks, I don't even know what the fuck. You know what that is. That's right, we're advertising my other YouTube channel. Everyone go follow me on YouTube, actually, which is not this channel. I have 2 channels currently. Maybe I'll have 20 in the future. I'm not sure. The floodgates are open. But I have another YouTube channel where I upload Doom speedruns. My goal is to be the best speedrunner in the world, so feel free to follow me, or not. I don't care if you like the game or not. You should subscribe to me anyway so I can get monetized. Currently, YouTube is stealing all of my revenue on that channel. If you can subscribe and help me get to the threshold, then I can get some of that revenue back. So again, I don't care. You like video games, you don't like video. You like Doom, you don't like Doom. You like speedruns, you don't like speedruns. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, I would prefer, honestly, maybe I do care, just to be honest, like, just to be 100%. I am, you know, I'm revealing myself a little bit here, you know, I'm showing my emotional side. I care a little bit, you know, I want you to like the things that I want, that I like, but you don't have to, it's not required, you know, you should give it a shot, you know, at the very least, you should try it, right? But hey, it's not for everyone, I understand that, but you can at least do me a favor, subscribe, today or tomorrow, or delay it until the future. Maybe you got some friends. I don't know. I don't have friends, but maybe you have friends and they like video games. Send them this channel. There you go. But once again, today it is April. We're doing an April show today. What is it? Friday? I don't even know what day it is. I think it's Friday. I'm not sure if it's Friday. It might be Friday. Might not be Friday. I'm not actually sure. And I got some mystery drink here that I'm going to take another swig of, and then we're going to get into some clips. We're going to be jumping into the clip portion of the show, so. One second. So, in Florida, the Republican Party is insane. Ron DeSantis, crazy-ass motherfucker. And the Republicans, in general, they're crazy-ass motherfuckers. So, what's interesting is Florida is a state that is falling the fuck apart, right? Climate change is going to destroy a lot of these coastal cities, right? Disney is fucking garbage. No one wants to go there. People, like, that's really the only reason why Florida even has any sort of tax base at all is because of Disney World, and Disney World's fucking garbage. Can you ever hear these Disney adults? They go to Disney World in the middle of a pandemic just to feel alive because, like, they're hugging Goofy or some shit. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, but that's a whole different side point. Let's talk about the Florida Republicans. Man, oh man, Florida Republicans hate transgender people. You know, that's the thing about it that's really insane to me is, like, what do I hate the most? Like, if I think to myself, what do I hate the most? Cars come to mind. You know, but like, what do I hate anything as much as Florida Republicans hate transgender people? And I don't think so. So we got a couple of things here that I want to talk about. Florida GOP legislator apologizes after calling transgender people mutants and demons. Now, I will say this much. I don't mind being called a demon. A mutant, I don't know about that. That's a little, I think, inaccurate to say more broadly. But a demon, I consider myself a demon. You know, I hate God, you know. And if you're forced me to pick a side when it comes to the Bible, I'd pick the demon side just because I hate God. So I say this, you want to call me a demon? Feel free. But let's get into this a little bit. And I got a clip coming up here of some other fucking freak talking about transgender people. But let's keep going. Did someone say clip, by the way? Yes, there's a clip coming. Republican state legislator in Florida apologized Monday after he called transgender people demons and mutants at a legislative hearing. State Rep Webster Barnaby had lashed out at transgender people earlier in the day at a Commerce Committee hearing on the Safety in Private Spaces Act, a bill that would criminalize using restrooms. Like, okay, so we're going to talk about crumbling infrastructure, potholes, you know, power outages, all this. Fuck that shit. We're going to talk about, I don't know, cleaning up our streets, you know, maybe getting rid of homeless people, putting them in houses, putting them in hotels, these empty condominiums. No, we're not going to do that. Are we going to do anything about the drug problem in Florida? We're going to provide people safe injection sites, safe you know, drug purchasing sites so they don't have to go into the black market and buy things that are laced with fentanyl and die because they got poisoned by somebody, right? Are we going to do any of that? No. We're going to make sure people are safe in the bathroom by criminalizing using the bathroom because that's how you keep people safe. Actually, you don't know this. Fun fact, by making everyone discuss bathrooms and criminalizing people using the bathroom, that's how you make people safe, actually. I don't know if people knew this. Barnaby, who referred to himself as a conservative Christian, staunchly defended the bill, saying he was not on the fence about what he would do. Again, Christians are bad people. Like, actually, I don't even know what to tell you. A conservative Christian, a progressive Christian, they're all shit as far as I'm concerned. Christianity is a scam. Christianity is one of the most evil cults in the history of the planet. They've done countless amounts of destruction all across human history. Anyone who pretends that Jesus has anything good to say at all, I don't give a fuck if you read 2 pages of the Bible and say, well, this ain't bad, doesn't mean you have to worship fucking Jesus. Can we talk about these stupid fucking goddamn good Christians for a moment? These progressive Christians that are like, I follow the Bible. Jesus he's somebody that hates the rich and gives to the poor. Do you really need to believe in a mythological fucking like goat demon shit to believe in that shit? To believe it's okay to give money to poor people? Do you really need to wrap that around some mythological spiritual god shit? Like, can't we all just fucking get back into the realm of reality? We're all human beings. We all share DNA. We all share the mysterious gift of consciousness. We're all in this together. We're all alone in the universe, and we're killing all of the people around us, and we're killing all the life around us, and we're gonna be alone, and our world's gonna fucking explode anytime soon. By the way, 40% of Americans believe the rapture is imminent. The rapture is imminent. So let's not deal with climate change. Let's not deal with drug, poisoning and deaths. Let's not deal with the hospitalization crisis. Let's not deal with the pandemic. Let's not deal with any of this shit, because the rapture is coming. My belief in Jesus is going to make it so that when God opens the skies, we're all going to be safe. Like, these fucking good Christians. I'm not talking about these people. I'm not talking about Barnaby McFuckface here. I'm talking about the good Christians. I'm talking about these little fucking freak cocksuckers that go all over your shit talking about, oh, why are you being bigoted against religious people? I'm not being bigoted against religious people, okay? If you are so fucking stupid that you can't understand that the Bible is a bunch of made-up fucking garbage, it can be good made-up garbage, right? In the same sense that Harry Potter could be good made-up garbage. It's not scripture. It's not God telling you this shit. And when you enable it, when you pretend that it is, what you're doing is allowing these evil fucks to destroy our country, destroy our planet. By pretending that it's okay to believe in talking gods and demons and angels, you are allowing these people to say, well, God told me to hate transgender, so I did. It's not God, it's them. It's their inner voice telling them to hate trans people. It's not God, it's not Jesus. Jesus isn't real. You're a fucking moron if you believe in Jesus. I'm tired of coddling these little fucking babies. So, with all that being said, these people derive their hatred of other people from religion. If religion was routinely mocked by 90% of society and people viewed religious people rightfully as the cultish fucking morons that they are, these people wouldn't be allowed to do this shit in the mainstream. They would get laughed out of the conversation. But people can win elections by going around saying, I believe in God, the Bible, the Bible, the Bible, I believe in God! And they can win elections because our country is fucking goddamn garbage, right? So again, little aside there, let's keep going. We have people that live among us today on planet Earth that are happy to display themselves as if there were mutants from another planet. This is planet Earth with God created man, male, and woman, female, he said. I don't even, like, that's the other thing about these fucking moron dumb fucks, is they can't even speak fucking English. This is the planet Earth with God created men, male, and women, female. Like, Jesus motherfucking Christ, what the fuck is this guy talking about? By the way, if you even read the Bible, you know that Eve is a motherfucking transgender woman. Why? Because she was created from Adam, a man's rib. Motherfucker's a transgender. I don't know what to tell you, motherfucker, but your own book has transgenders as the main characters, you stupid motherfucker. But again, these religious fucking dumbasses, man. Holy motherfucking Christ. I would like to apologize to the trans community for referring to you as demons. I love this, man. Like, at least this guy knows, like, wow, okay, maybe I need to do something about this. But just like the idea that someone would say, I would like to apologize. You would like to? First of all, I don't believe that you would like to. I believe that you really don't like to. But hey, whatever. I would like to apologize to the trans community for referring to you as demons. Well, that's great. Anyway, here's another clip from a Republican in Florida talking about erasing transgender people. Let's watch.
And they're the ones that are saying this definition applies to them. Well, if it means erasing a community because you have to target children, well, damn right we ought to do it. I just don't think you have to inherently say because you're lesbian.
Look at this motherfucker back here, by the way. This guy is like, whoa. Like, just again, look at this guy. He's like, wow, this is the most boring thing in the world. And then this guy lights the fuck up. Shout outs to this guy, by the way. Like, this is the audience stand-in. Let's watch again.
Community because you have to target children when damn right we ought to do it. I just don't think you have to inherently say because you're lesbian or gay that you want to target children. I find that statement to be offensive to them.
What? What? This is the thing. Okay, so being lesbian means you want to target children, but saying that is bad. So let's erase lesbians because they want to target children. What?
And they're the ones that are saying this definition applies to them. Well, if it means erasing a community because you have to target children, when damn right we ought to do it.
Like, who is this guy talking to? Like, is he talking to himself? Is he talking to God? Is he talking to Jesus? I don't fucking know. So, again, so lesbians, I don't even know what the fuck. Lesbians target children, but they don't target children. But we claim they do, but they don't. But I think they do, but they don't actually. But saying that they don't is bad because they do. But saying that they do is bad because they don't. By the way, let's erase their community. What? But again, this is the deal with these fucking Florida Republicans is they're fucking stupid. I really need you to understand these motherfuckers are stupid. They're dumb motherfuckers. Republicans, not just politicians. Okay, I know a lot of these fucking YouTubers, a lot of these fucking people on cable news, mainstream media, they lie to you, they lie to your fucking face, and they tell you that all people can change. Not just because someone votes to eradicate a certain people and wants to kill certain people doesn't mean that they are not good people. I'm sorry. Now, if you want to change, that's on you. That's your own fucking timeline. I say hurry the fuck up. But Republicans, voters, the people that fall for this shit are garbage. The world would be better off if they disappeared. It's just a fact. If Republicans were the ones that disappeared, our world would be better. These people are garbage. They're trash, and they're a cancer on our fucking species. I'm talking about Republicans. And not just Republicans, right? Democrats, too. Because Republicans get triggered when you don't throw Democrats in there. But there's a lot of these fucking... We're talking about stupid motherfuckers. We're talking about people that outsource all of their education to grifters and liars. Like, imagine you spend your life getting your news from fucking, like, Ben Shapiro. Like, that's your only news source. Jesus fucking Christ. You shouldn't be allowed to participate in any fucking political conversation when the only one you fucking rely on is a fucking snake oil salesman. But these people, that's all they do. They live in their own little media fucking bubble ecosystems, and they cry and whine about made-up fucking garbage. And they don't wear masks in a pandemic. They don't wash their hands before supper. They don't know how to fucking clean their bodies, right? These people are disgusting fucking freaks. I'm talking about Republicans. I'm talking about these anti-science weirdos, okay? I'm sick and fucking tired of these people trying to say a minority group should be eradicated and erased because they go after children, when these are the same people, by the way, that defend the Catholic Church. By the way, there's this big scandal going on in Maryland. If you don't know this, Maryland, blue state, they had a Republican governor for 8 years. I don't know why. They're fucking stupid. But during the Republican governor's administration in Maryland, they covered up a scandal with the Catholic Church of Maryland. Now they have a Democratic governor. The recent election, they got a Democrat in there. And now the Democratic AG is uncovering, oh shit, there's been cover-ups going on, Catholic Church raping children for fucking a decade, for longer, right? And the previous administration covered it up. Isn't it interesting, by the way, that Republicans in Missouri at the same time are advocating for 12-year-olds to be sold to child sex slavery? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about child marriages, right? You know, in the real world, if we used accurate language to describe things, it's child sex slavery. There's no such thing as child marriage. That's called sex slavery. You are selling your child to an older man, usually a man. I think there's one case in Wyoming where it's like a 40-year-old woman and like a 12-year-old boy. That's also weird, by the way, of course, just to be clear. But it's usually a man who buys, because how else do you marry a child? How else do you get parents' permission? It's child sex slavery. The party of child sex slavery is going to tell us that we need to eradicate a minority group because they're a danger to children? I'm sorry, shut the fuck up with that ass garbage, okay? I hate these guys. I hate Republicans. Oh, Jesus Christ. This show's already going on a good fucking trend here. And we got some fuck mother clips to go into next. But Jesus Christ, man, these Republicans. Fuck me. Oh, God. Ooh. I got some, like, really bad, like, allergy attack right now. Just the last, like, usually it's, like, the first week of spring I get fucked. And then my body adapts to it, but fuck me. I'm getting effed. And not in the good dick way. I got some mysterious mystery potion. So on my show, I talk a lot about just people that really just make you question the universe. Like, are we in a simulation? Is this real? Are these people real? Sometimes I wake up after a couple days of heavy use of psychedelic drugs, and I log onto the internet, and I see stuff like what I'm about to show you, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way that this is real. That these are real human beings really saying this shit, and they think it's profound. Like, that's the... Like, it's one, you know, when I do a lot of drugs and I'm sitting around, you know, sometimes I say a bunch of wacky shit, like, you know, like, what if aliens are actually time travelers and they're right? But, like, you know, it's all in good fun. We're all just having fun with it, right? But imagine if someone said that shit and they were actually serious, right? These people, we have all kinds of conspiratorial thinking, and because of the internet, people, they latch on to conspiracy theorists and freaks. And in this instance, we have two freaks. One of them I know quite well, and the other one I don't know. Not personally, of course. I've never met either of these fucking clowns. But I'm talking about just, you know, from being on the internet. One of these fucking freaks that I do know quite well, being a fucking freak. And then the other one who really is giving the other one a run for their money. I mean, this is like a freak off, you know. We have like, this is like a competition, you know, like freak versus freak, who's the bigger fuck up, right? But anyway, what am I talking about? We're talking about Jordan Peterson and this stupid fuck whom I don't even know the name of, but I saw a little bit of this clip when browsing the internet, and Jesus motherfucking Christ. Let's watch.
Everyone is terribly concerned about the suicide rate among kids who are questioning or confused about their gender identity.
So, first of all, that's not true. First of all, like, that's just not true. That's blatantly false. I mean, it's not only not true in the sense that this dumb bitch is lying. Like, she doesn't actually give a fuck. She's using this for a rhetorical point. You're gonna see this later. So she's lying. But two, also, I'm a trans person on the internet. I get told I should kill myself literally dozens of times per day. If I go into my YouTube comments, it's full of kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. Open up my email, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself, right? People have sent SWAT teams to my house to try to fucking murder me, right? So again, this idea that like people are so concerned. Oh, they're just so, they don't hate transgender people. They're just so concerned about suicide. They're concerned. No, I got news for you. No, they're not, okay? They're not, okay? But let's keep going.
And of course, we have to always be concerned. One suicide is too many. We're all on the same page about preventing suicide.
Just real quick, this is called virtue signaling, right? This stupid fucking shithole doesn't give a fuck about suicide, but she wants to tell people she does to garner sympathy to make herself seem more reasonable. I could start my segment by saying, oh, I'm concerned about blah, blah, blah. And people, you know, it's essentially just a rhetorical tactic to lie to stupid people to sell them on stupid ass bullshit. This is like shit that they tell you when if you ever learn how to do advertising, you ever learn how to be an insurance person, if you ever learn how to do any of that stuff, number one thing is you have to seem relatable. You have to hook them, right? So this is the hook, right? What they're selling you is bigotry. What they're selling you is some fucked up ideology. And their hook is, we all care about suicide here. It's like if you go on fucking 3 a.m. you're watching like whatever the fuck that channel that has all the fucking products, and you're seeing this fucking shit like where it's like, you ever see those advertisements where someone's like trying to cut fucking cucumbers with a knife, but the knife isn't really that sharp and it's not working out so well, but like it's kind of muted. It's not necessarily black and white or grayscale, but it's just muted color. And then you have a narrator that goes like, is your knife not as good as it used to be? Has this ever happened to you? And then you're supposed to be like, oh, that's relatable. I've tried to cut a cucumber and it didn't fucking work. And then you're gonna buy a shitty fucking knife that's $9,000 overpriced when you could just go to Walmart and get a fucking like whetstone or some shit and sharpen your own knife, right? So again, that's literally what this is. It's just snake oil salesmen. They're just trying to sell you some shit. This bitch doesn't give a fuck about suicide. But again, it's gonna get a lot more insane. Let's keep going.
Suicide. Okay, but no one is talking about the fact that, you know what? Some of the parents are suicidal. This whole thing is driving some of the parents to feeling suicidal. And I'm talking about parents who have gone through the most terrible things in their lives. And this issue, this particular ordeal with their child, seeing their child slip away and become someone unrecognizable, both in terms of their personality and their physical persona, and in terms of their future losses. Will this child be totally estranged from the family? Is this child going to come visit me when I'm sick in the hospital? Is this child, going to come to their siblings' weddings?
Well, I can barely imagine anything worse than being in a situation where you have a child who's being pressured by ideologues and potentially your spouse as well to radically transform themselves in an extraordinarily destructive way.
So again, they start off by saying, oh, the suicide epidemic for trans people, so sad, we're all sad. And then a minute later, they're destroying themselves! They're destroying their bodies! They're killing themselves! They're mutants! But we're so concerned about their suicide rate. But they're mutants! They're gonna... But we're really concerned. Now again, this is the hook. These people are lying to you. Now I just want to say this much. Now this might seem a little extreme. If you are a parent and your kid comes out as transgender and you don't accept that, you are upset by that, let's say you're triggered by your child coming out as transgender, and you become suicidal as a result. Now, just to be clear, you are not suicidal because your child is being bullied at school, your child is being bullied at home, your child is being bullied by the government, your child is being forced to not be allowed to go to the doctor by the government. That's not what's making you suicidal. You're suicidal because your child is trans and you hate trans people. I got news for you. I don't see a problem with that. If you don't like trans people so much that your kid coming out as trans makes you suicidal, I say this. What's the difference between that and garbage day? Right? So anyway, let's keep going.
In a manner that's going to echo down the decades, that's going to disrupt the entire family structure permanently, and that's going to turn the person you love into something like a confused monstrosity, which I think is the most general outcome.
The most general outcome? We're so concerned with kids killing themselves that we're going to call them monstrosities. 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 This motherfucker that wears like fucking like the most ridiculous clothing, that speaks like a fucking puppet, is going to tell other people that they're monstrosities at the same time as they cry and whine, oh, we're so concerned about suicide. We're so concerned. Oh, God, we're so concerned.
That you are powerless and made powerless as well by the courts to do anything about it, and also subject to the punishment of law if you dare to voice your anti-transition opinion.
Like, we live in this fantasy world, or they live in a fantasy world, I should say. All the laws. There is literally a law in Florida. If you are gay and in the school system, you are not allowed to talk about your spouse in any way, shape, and form. Now, the straight teachers and faculty members, they can talk about, oh, my wife and I went on vacation for summer. What did you do last summer? They're allowed to do that. But if you're gay, you are censored. You are not allowed to talk about your life at all. If you're gay, that's reality. In their world, all the governments are left-wing extremists, and they're banning people and throwing them in jail for not using pronouns or some shit. Like, what? Like, I'm serious. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, what the fuck are these people talking about? Like, they literally live in, like, a cartoon fantasy land that is the exact opposite of the real world. And again, I don't know who this stupid fucking whore is. I don't, okay? This person's terrible. Again, if she or anyone like her feels suicidal because someone transitioned, I say, hey, that's called nature. That's called Darwinism, okay, motherfucker? But anyway, I just, like, the fact that we have to deal with this rich trust fund baby freaks trying to parade around as intellectuals. I consider myself an intellectual. I consider myself a philosopher of a sort. I consider myself someone that thinks about the world around me often, and probably I should think less about it, but hey, whatever, I'm addicted. So the fact that people like this occupy a space that I consider myself to be a part of, oh, that pisses me the fuck off, man. You don't understand how much that pisses me off. Like, when I heard that Jordan Peterson was on his deathbed with his benzo addiction, I was like, fucking finally. And then this fucking trust fund baby freak has the audacity to have millions of dollars to spend at a fucking treatment that actually gets him out of the hospital. Fucking dear God, can you believe this shit? Oh, but dear, I'm the offensive one now? How dare me say something so offensive? Oh, goodness gracious, I should be so apologetic. I'm so sorry for saying something so rude to Jordan Peterson. Oh my God! Like, Jesus fucking Christ, cry me a river with these stupid motherfuckers. And that's the thing about them, is they're so fucking, like, I consider Ben Shapiro to be mostly someone who knows what the grift is and does it on purpose. But I'm not gonna lie to you, Jordan Peterson to me seems like someone who's so fucking stupid that he accidentally his way into this position. I do. Like, this guy is genuinely not intelligent in any capacity, right? So again, when people consider this guy to be like an intellectual, someone who really thinks about the world, like, he's like, this motherfucker lives in a bubble. This is a trust fund baby lunatic who has like a fucking multi-million-dollar home. This guy doesn't talk to normal people. This guy doesn't do any of this fucking shit. This guy is a trust fund baby, stay-at-home fucking freak show who doesn't know anything about actually being under attack by the government. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. This fucking guy, and whoever that stupid-ass broad is, too. Jesus fucking Christ, fuck these both. I hate these motherfuckers. I hate these motherfuckers. Jesus fucking Christ, I hate these motherfuckers. I hate them. And again, just to reiterate, just to be clear on my position, if these motherfuckers feel suicidal because their kid or someone they know is transgender, well, I go further than that, Boondocks Dragon. I got one more segment today, by the way, and y'all are gonna love it, or you won't. But I'm gonna love it, and that's all that matters. But I got one more thing to say on the CPS front. I personally believe, and this applies to more people than just Republicans, but Republicans, it's easy to say 100%. Right? With Democrats, you know, you get into more nuance here, but Republicans, 100%. If you are a Republican, you should not be allowed to raise children. Full stop. Full stop. If you are somebody who teaches your children to hate gay people, to hate trans people, to hate black people, to hate immigrants, to hate whatever, you should not be allowed to raise children. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to have kids. Have kids. Have 30 of them. I don't give a fuck. But you should not be allowed to raise them. That is child abuse. In the same way that I personally believe that giving kids juice boxes every day, that should be child abuse. Just to be honest, I do believe that if you give your kids juice on a regular basis, I think that is causing addictive issues with them. You wouldn't give your kid alcohol on a regular basis. You shouldn't give them juice. Juice is soda. Juice is unhealthy. It's garbage. But in the same way that I believe that is child abuse, in the same way that I believe hitting your child is child abuse, teaching your child things that are wrong about the world puts them at a permanent disadvantage, right? Like if you taught your kid that left and right were reversed, think about the damage that's going to do. Like they spend the first 18 years of their life, or I don't know how long you could last, like before you unlearn. But like, again, you teach children, let's say you teach children that Windex is actually like really healthy for you. That's child abuse, right? So if you teach kids to hate black people, to hate trans people, that is fucking child abuse. You should not be allowed to raise kids. But then on the flip side, our child protective system in this country is also trash. So it really is a situation is, where is the kid going to be better off? Being raised by freak abusive parents or being thrown into an orphan foster system that's underfunded and trash, right? So it's like, I don't know. Ideally, right, you just massively overfund child protective systems and then also do this, as if this would ever happen. But there you go. But yeah, I mean, the other problem is that the current child protective system is really fucking bad. It's really bad. But anyway, I've got one more clip. Anyone here like clips? Does anyone out here like clips? I mean, people love clips. I don't know, like they blow, like it blows their mind when they see fucking clips, They're just like, oh. It's like, when a dog hears like something and their fucking ears go like, whoop. Did someone say clip? Oh, we got clips here. And I know this has been, I don't even know where to start with this one. Okay. So I made a segment about this when this whole, I don't want to call it drama because that I believe is underselling it. I don't want to call it outrage because I believe it's overselling it. But this ordeal, I made a video about this when it first happened. And when the resurgence of this nightmarish grift came, I was like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. But I saw something that made me change my position, okay? So this is Cenk Uygur going on News Nation. I saw this clip. I'm not going to lie to you. I decided I'm going to stay out of the TYT thing. I think it's too stupid. I think everyone involved is too charged. It's too dumb. I'm sorry. I'm staying out of it. I already made a video on the first fucking round of it. I'm not doing a second lap until I saw this fucking video. This is a 5-minute video, so I don't know how long this segment's going to be. Could be 20 minutes, could be 30 minutes. I don't know. Usually it takes me 5 minutes of video. That can take me a while to get through. But this is Cenk Uygur going on. I don't know what this is. This is News Nation. So he's going on like mainstream news, I guess, to shit on the left. Why? Because this guy is lost it. He has, I should say. He has lost it. He has lost it. Now, again, we can argue whether or not Cenk Uygur ever had it. I'm willing to argue about that. That's a debatable subject. I say there have been times where I really appreciate Cenk Uygur's position in online media. Most of the time, that's not the case. But this clip here, to me, this is irrefutable, undeniable evidence that Cenk Uygur has lost it. This guy is a grifter. Full stop. Okay? Full stop. And this is my evidence. If you ask me why I believe it, this is this clip. So again, I just want to say, I decided to step out of it. I could have made a lot of money. Think about it from my perspective. I'm a trans YouTuber. I could have made video after video about this. I could have been talking about this every day for weeks, and I would have made hundreds of dollars of ads. Think about it. Think about the opportunity cost. But I decided it's too much for me. I don't really care about it that much, so I'm not going to do it until I saw this video. And that, again, I really want to underscore how egregious this is. So without further ado, let's watch this. This guy does like a half of the video is this guy's opening. And I want to play the opening. A lot of people don't play openings to this. They just play the guest appearance. I think that that's incorrect because this is the broader context of why going on this show in this fashion is horrible. We need to understand the broader context. We're going to have to put up with this fucking little cocksucker in his weird-ass goofball fucking attire and ears, by the way. Like, what's going on here? Anyway, let's keep going.
When thinking about fire-breathing liberals, not moderates, but unadulterated and highly outspoken lefties, one of the first names you have to think of is Cenk Uygur, the founder of the Young Turks, which was one of the first liberal digital media giants and now has more than 5 million subscribers on YouTube, more than 6 billion views. It bills itself as the largest online news show in the world. So when Cenk speaks against the far left, I listen. And that's...
So I just want to make this point, and I want to make it very clear. I should have maybe made this point a little sooner. This is a branding exercise. And what is a branding exercise? A branding exercise is you're not doing something because you're passionate. You're not doing something because you believe in it. You're doing something to accomplish some sort of hierarchical exchange on a power ladder. Right? So I personally believe that the Young Turks feels that they have lost a position of hierarchy within left-wing media spaces. They feel like they have less power and authority over the left broadly. That is my diagnosis of the situation. So they are positioning themselves and branding themselves in a new way that tries to concentrate power in a certain kind of demographic. Now, with that in mind, they are weaponizing the same tactic that right-wingers use, and this is why, to me, this clip is so egregious, okay? You know when right-wingers say woke, it's woke, 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 woke. Oh, they're woke, you're woke, I'm woke, I'm not woke, but you're woke, the kids are woke, the schools are woke, and then you say, oh, well, what does woke mean? And they freeze. That is Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian with the term extreme left or far left. They use it in, and I mean this sincerely, the same exact way that right-wingers say the word woke. Now, with that in mind, I want you, when this whole thing starts, when Cenk Uygur comes on, he never defines the word woke, or rather, the word far left or extremist. They're undefined. So it's a moving, vague target. And the purpose of not having clear and defined terms, again, it's a branding exercise. It allows you to have a larger demographic outreach because people are going to hear the term far left or far left extremist or extreme left or woke, right? They're going to hear that and they're going to already have a preconceived definition in their head. And so when you avoid defining it, you avoid possibly countering someone's preconceived notion in their head, right? So you avoid actually making them think about it. And then again, it casts a broader net, which increases your demographic of users. That is a branding exercise. That is what this is. When you see people going on Fox News to talk about the woke, the woke, the woke, the woke, they're branding. That's all it is. So again, with all that in mind, let's keep going.
That's what happened recently when a well-known progressive stalwart, Ana Kasparian, a co-host of the Young Turks, tweeted, quote, "I'm a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus."
Now, real quick, I said this in my initial video, but again, the other aspect of this that makes it so clearly a branding exercise, by the way, I love that they censored the word shit, that's great, is that this did not happen. This did not happen. Nobody, and I mean that sincerely, like, this did not happen. No one looked at Ana Kasparian and said, hey, birthing person. No one, and I mean zero, not one, not two, not an insignificant but still above zero statistic. I mean zero. I mean absolute dead-ass motherfucking zero. Zero people ever throughout the entire history of the world on planet Earth have ever called Ana Kasparian a person who menstruates. Never happened. It's never happened. So that's the other thing about this, is that it's made up. It's not real, right? This is a completely manufactured outrage. Now, that goes without saying, it is theoretically, right, if you are somebody who is, let's say, allergic to logic in any fashion, if you believe that this did happen, if you believe that it did happen, someone was like, hey, yo, birthing person, like, if you believe that that did happen, even then, that does not excuse any of this kind of fucking meltdown behavior, this whining. It doesn't undo any of the other aspects of this that make it obviously a branding exercise. But I think it's very obvious to anybody with a brain, this did not happen. Okay, it's not real. They're just making shit up to whine and cry, and that's really all it is. But and again, that's gonna be very obvious when Jen comes on. But just so we all understand,
birthing person or person who menstruates. How do people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this.
So again, not degrading because it doesn't happen. Okay? It doesn't fucking happen. So therefore it cannot be degrading. So a lot of people, they have these, again, people on the internet, they live in a conspiratorial fantasy land typically. And it's really, really hard to undo that. So if you are a regular person, you're interacting with society, chances are you've never fucking heard the term birthing person or person who menstruates. Why? Because you don't go to the doctor. Why? Because you don't have health insurance. No one goes to the fucking doctor in this country, right? These are terms that are used politically and medically in a larger context. In the same way that there are a lot of people who have had their gallbladder removed, who have had their thyroid system altered or removed in some fashion, right? So or there are a lot of people that have their appendix removed, right? If you read a phrase, people with appendices, do you feel offended if you still have your appendix? You never had appendicitis, so it is technically still possible that could happen to you. And so therefore, do you read that and go, oh, well, what are the preventative? No, you read that and go, I am not a person with an appendix. How dare you? How dare you? Like, anybody who doesn't understand this is dumb. Anna Kasparian is dumb. Now, again, a lot of people out there, a lot of left-wingers on YouTube, they have this history with the Young Turks. I don't have. I've never been on their program. I don't care about going on their program. People have said, I'd love to see you on TYT. People have said they've asked people on TYT to have me on. I don't care about any of that. To be honest with you, this tweet, and again, this is going to be a long segment, so bear with me. This tweet is evidence of two things, probably both, but theoretically one of two. Anna is lying on purpose to gain power and influence on the internet, or she is fucking stupid. Those are the only options. Now, again, you can have your own history. I have friends, I have family members. On some issues, they're just fucking stupid. This idea that we all have to pander and pretend like, oh, but you're so normally great. Oh, your highness, you're so normally so great. So, oh my God. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not playing that game. If someone in my family said some crazy ass shit like climate change isn't real, you know what I'd do? I'd say you're fucking stupid, right? So this is one of those situations. There are two options, and it's probably both. It's probably both, but I'm open to believing she's lying on purpose and she's not actually stupid, or I'm open to believing she's actually stupid and she's not lying on purpose. I'm open to believing either one of those, but it's most likely that she is stupid. She's a dumb person. She's not intelligent. And now again, I know I'm alienating people. I'm aware of that. I know I got people that watch my videos. I know they're going to watch this. They're going to be like, oh, Andrea's being too far. Maybe I'm a little drunk. Who knows? Whatever. I know that they're going to have that reaction. It's all good. I'm not calling you out. I'm calling this dumbass bitch out. Okay. So again, if you read a poster that says someone that has tonsils, if you have tonsils, you should look. If you read a poster that says if you have this body part, you should know about possible cancers, that you should know how to do a breast exam, blah, blah, blah. Right? So again, if you read that as, oh my God, I am not a person with tonsils, I am a woman, you are a dumb person. You're just dumb. You're dumb. You're a dumbass, okay? You're a fucking moron. You're a dipshit. You're a stupid ass, dumbass bitch. Now, with all that being said, let's continue.
You get it. Now, to most people who don't live in a Twitter bubble, this would seem so obvious that it's not even worth saying.
Now, this guy, I'm assuming this is Dan Abrams. I'm not sure if this is a guest or on this show. This is actually a good point. right? I'm going to play this part again here.
Now, to most people who don't live in a Twitter bubble, this would seem so obvious that it's not even worth saying.
Accidentally correct in this instance. Accidentally correct. It is obvious that it's not worth saying because it's not real. This is a fake outrage. It's not real. It doesn't exist. That's why it is obvious it's not worth saying. But they said it anyway. Anna said it anyway. And that is why either, again, she is stupid, it's a branding exercise, or most likely both.
But those who do live in the Twitter bubble descended, calling her a Karen, a transphobe, a TERF, by the way, is a new term I learned, which is apparently slang for trans exclusionary radical feminist, intended as a slur used by some woke activists.
So again, this is clearly a right-wing, like, I don't know anything about this guy, but just the language, woke, all of this stuff, this is a right-winger. Tried and true right-winger, right?
And the controversy has only continued to grow. To her credit, Kasparian didn't back down, tweeting this week, LOL.
No, actually, this is an incorrect thing. She did back down. She got, as people on Twitter are saying, she got cooked. I don't quite understand. Is that a Breaking Bad reference? I don't know. I love Breaking Bad. But anyway, that's like new Twitter lingo. I don't understand. And then she stopped talking about it for 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not sure. And then she randomly brought it up again. So, again, to her credit, she didn't back down. She did back down. And then she brought it up again randomly out of nowhere for no reason and said a bunch of fucking extra stupid ass shit. So let's keep going.
Well, the meltdowns over wanting to be referred to as a woman rather than a birthing person is pretty wild. I'll never apologize for that, especially as a biological woman who's had a lifetime of being told I'm less than.
So again, another reason why I think Anna Kasparian is stupid. Now, again, this is not an attack on people that aren't Anna that also do this. There are a lot of cis people that watch my program. There's a lot of people that are way more popular than me that watch my program. I know I got a lot of people that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers that watch my program. So I'm telling, this is all a PSA to everybody. Get your shit together. Terms like biological woman and biological man are stupid, unscientific, dumbfuck terms, and they're offensive. There is no such thing as a biological woman. Do you understand what the word biological means? It means a living person. It means biology. It means being alive. There's someone outside someone walking around and Max is freaking out. So everybody who is a woman and who is alive is a biological woman. But a lot of people, I know that sounds alien to them. They're going to be, but what about the organs? The organs! Well, first of all, we have Max, are you okay? We have a situation where there are more intersex people than there are people that are transgender. Intersex means you're not cleanly on either side of that situation. You're in the middle of a spectrum, right? That's what intersex means. There are more people that are intersex than are transgender, right? So if you are intersex, what does that make you? Are you a biological woman or a biological man? Or maybe these terms are fucking stupid and they don't mean anything. Okay, now, extra, okay? If you are somebody who is trans and you take hormones, what do those hormones do? They change your biology. Your biology, your living tissue is altered by hormones. That's literally what they do. They change your body. So the idea of calling someone who's been on hormones for 10 years a biological man or a biological woman, whatever, the one that's not correct would be, is dumb. If someone has been taking testosterone for 10 years, they are not a biological woman, okay? That's a stupid fucking term. And again, you could just use the word cisgender, which is an accurate term. Anna Kasparian is a cisgender woman, but she uses the word biological. Why? Because she doesn't give a fuck. Now, again, I know there's a lot of people out there that might not understand the problem with the word biological or the phrase biological woman or man, right? I get it. You can be ignorant. That's fine. But it's a combination of ignorance, neglect. If you are in this position, if you have hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, You should know this. You should have spoken to at least 1 or 2 trans people about terminology. You should know how problematic and unscientific and inaccurate this language is. We're talking about inaccurate language here. Biological. And there's also biological women, whatever the fuck that means, cisgender women who can't have pregnancy. So again, it's just a stupid fucking term. Right? So again, you should know better. If you don't, that's fine. I'm not calling you out. But this whole thing, all the dominoes together, all the eggs in the basket together point in only 2 directions. Now again, or both. She is stupid, Anna Kasparian is dumb, and she doesn't know what words mean. Very possible. And or she is doing all of this on purpose to navigate her power into a higher position in compared to her into her demographics. So she's changing her demographics, the people that watch her, in such a way that she is in a more of a power position among the people that watch her. Probably both. Now I'm willing to set aside obvious, maybe I am being over the top calling her stupid. It's possible. But I'm not seeing any evidence, and I'm willing to change my opinion. If she comes out and says, oh wow, I really made a mistake, this whole thing was regretful, all right, that is a sign of intelligence. Until that happens, I don't know, man. But we haven't even gotten to the part where Cenk comes on here. I knew this was going to be a long-ass segment. Let's keep going.
And I'm a woman, no apologies. And now the big boss, Uyghur, has jumped into the fray to defend Kasparian. And it's all descending into the type of thing many on the far right will no doubt delight in, and are already. Liberals eating liberals, so to speak. But this is about more than that. Uyghur, who will join us in a moment, is trying to talk common sense to his fellow liberals.
Extreme fringes are trying to silence the marginalized moderate majority. Now, again, this is something only a stupid person would say. For those who don't know, this is on the Dan's take on the board here. Only a stupid person could say this. Extreme fringes, by the way, it's an undefined term. Extreme, how are they extreme? Fringe, how are they fringe? Undefined terms. Trying to silence, telling someone they're wrong is not silencing. This is this is the same fucking shit that the right does. Not because this guy's a right winger, but Cenk Uyghur is going on here and agreeing with everything this guy says and giving this guy clout and attention and power. Saying, hey, I think you're wrong, actually, is not silencing. So again, undefined term are trying to silence, not silencing, the marginalized, moderate majority. Marginalized. Can someone tell me how the majority can be marginalized? The marginalized majority? I mean, just the fuck? What? The fucking shit? What? What?
Pointing out the extreme fringes are dominating the conversation and trying to silence or marginalize the more moderate majority in this country, in much the same way those on the far right fringes do. Uyghur writes, left-wing extremists help right-wing so much. 66% of this country is left-wing, according to polling on policy issues. They don't believe in defunding the police or being called Latinx or calling women birthing people or...
So this is another, again, evidence. This is a fact. This, in my view, is like finding the smoking gun with the fingerprints on it, with the surveillance footage that shows the guy clearly looking at the camera, clearly identified, touching the gun, holding the gun, and shooting someone, and then placing the gun in the position that the police found it. This is evidence. 100% indisputable, irrefutable evidence that what Cenk Uyghur and Anna Kasparian are doing is a branding exercise so that they can change the makeup of their audience, lie to their audience, and again, try to gain whatever relative power they can with a changing demographic. Who the fuck is talking about Latinx? Who the fuck is talking about defunding the police? Now again, this is a same thing with the right. This is because Cenk Uyghur is a right-winger at heart. He is a reactionary. So he hears someone say defund the police 3 fucking years ago. 3 fucking years ago, and he can't let it go. An uprising in this country against police brutality. George Floyd was murdered brutally on international television. And Cenk Uygur's response to that is, oh, these radicals, the fringe, saying that the cops killed someone, they're so fringe. How extreme of them. Think about it. Think about it. Protesters who saw a black man get murdered brutally on international television rightfully responded with, defund the police. And Cenk Uygur 3 years later can't let it go. Why? Again, it boils down to the two possibilities. Either they're fucking stupid, or I should say, it's a branding exercise. Both is the likely outcome. Both is my personal opinion, but I'm willing to debate whether or not it's one or the other. I'm willing to debate that. I'm open to debate that, but both is the most likely outcome. These are right-wing pivots. Who the fuck is this guy talking to? This is the biggest question, is who is Cenk Uygur talking to? Who is Ana Kasparian talking to? They're talking to Ben Shapiro. They're talking to Kerry Lake. They might pretend that they're not, but that's who they're talking to. They're talking to Matt Walsh. They're talking to right-wing donors. They're talking to centrists. They're talking to neoliberal Democrats. They're not talking to lefties. They're not talking to progressives. They're certainly not talking to transgender people. They're not talking to abolitionists in any other way. Think about this. They brought Olayemi on the show. She's someone who's an abolitionist. They've picked her as a target for no fucking reason. I can think of a reason, but I don't want to burn too many bridges here. I can think of a reason, but they picked on her for no fucking reason. They brought her on the show, and then after yelling at her and talking down to her on the show, Cenk Uygur, they pretended that the conversation never happened. So think about it and this is again evidence, irrefutable evidence, that this is either stupid person, can't remember basic facts, like 3 weeks after a conversation, 3 months after a conversation, you can't remember basic facts. That's signs of dementia. That's signs of you being stupid, or that you don't care, that you had that conversation, you didn't even bother to pay attention enough to commit that to long-term memory in any fashion, right? Or they're branding. Now, again, I think it's both. But they brought a prison abolitionist on, Olayemi, by the way, look her up, she's great, and had a conversation about what abolition means, and then immediately after the conversation continued to lie about abolitionists and continued to pick on defund the police, a phrase from 3 years ago, right? So again, these people are deeply unserious, to use a very popular term. But let's keep going, because Cenk Uygur's about to come on here, so it's going to get a lot worse. Maybe this should be a two-parter. I don't know.
Abolishing prisons, anyone who claims they do is lying. Now, this is a conversation we've been actively having on this show for more than a year now. So joining us now is Cenk Uygur, founder and host of the progressive Young Turks. Cenk, thanks for coming on the program. Really appreciate it. All right, so what is going on here, and why are you...
Notice, by the way, real quick, I want to pause here. I know. We're finally here. Cenk's on the show. I want to pause here. With this clip, this is Ana Kasparian. This is a 30-seconder. I'm going to play it in one go. Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur whining on their show a couple days ago, saying that they're not going to have left-wingers on their show anymore, and they're not going to go on left-winger shows. But Cenk Uygur is going to go on a right-winger show. Now imagine a scenario. They're all crying about this podcast called The Leftist Mafia, which, by the way, doesn't look like there's many Italians on that show, so that's a criticism for them. So invite me on the program. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so they're paying a lot of attention to that, and they're whining about it. Did Cenk or Ana ever even think about going on the show to have the conversation face-to-face? No. But they're going to go on a right-winger show. So much so that they're going to whine on their program about never talking to leftists ever again. But going on right-wingers programs, that's great. Again, this is who their audience is. They're trying to make an active demographic tectonic shift to bring in more right-wingers, more moderates, more neoliberals. I'm going to play this clip.
To be honest, I just don't really care to like collaborate with any other leftist ever again at this point.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at, because they come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves, trashing us as if they don't know who we are.
So this is another thing, again, that is irrefutable evidence that this is a power move. Like, they come on your show and they build a name. Oh, you are so beautiful and amazing and gracious and profound and powerful that you granted them an audience. Most of the people that 2IT bring on their show are people that are already popular. Now, again, there's a lot of people that they've done a lot of great stuff for. That's fine. We're not talking about that. But most people that they bring on the show, that they collaborate with, are already popular. They don't bring people on their show from my fucking, to whine a little bit and from a personal perspective. They don't bring people from my threshold of like the 5,000 to like, whatever subscriber range. They don't bring people like me on. They bring people that already have platforms. They bring people on that already have like a book out, that are in a position of like maybe their profession is that they're a lawyer, they're an ex-cop, or they're whatever, they're a political person. They bring people on that they can benefit from most of the time. Most of the time. Now, I said I'd play this clip in one go. I already lied on that one. But, so that's just a little look into the viewpoint from her. This is how she is seeing it. She sees it as she is so amazing and powerful and wonderful and lovely and the greatest person ever, and she is going out of her way to give other people a little crumb of her power and her influence and her audience. And she is the one who's going out of her way to do such great things. Like what?
As if they haven't worked with us, they don't know what our actual political values are. So I don't.
And again, this is also projection because she is making up a situation. No one called her a birthing person. It never happened. Okay, it never happened. She's lying, right? But more importantly, she's lying about the far left. She's lying about the extreme left. There is no extreme left. Like, I'm going to tell you this full on. Okay, I'm going to tell you this from my perspective. Watching this is so frustrating. All the love in the world to David Dole and, and the leftist mafia. That is not a far left show. It's just not, right? Olay, she's pretty far left. But like David Dole, not far left. The Serfs, not far left, right? Humanist Report, right? Now again, these are really good shows. I don't really like the Serfs that much, but these are really good shows. They're progressive shows. They're leftist shows. This is not like, when have you seen David Dole going out there talking about the abolition of roads? Now maybe he's talked about it a little bit. When have you seen the Humanist Report go out there and talk about how we need to completely eradicate cars? When have you seen the Serfs do a segment on banning fast food? Now, I'm just saying, like, on a matter of fact, the leftist mafia, it's a left-wing show. Absolutely. I'm not trying to shit on them. I'm not trying to call them far-right or right-wingers. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm better than them, because I'm not. Well, what I'm saying is the idea that you would look at the leftist mafia and think that's a far-left extremist show, that's fucking stupid. And this is why, again, you have to either be stupid, a dumb person, you lack intelligence, or you're branding yourself in order to believe that the leftist mafia is like, does the leftist mafia go on, like, they dress up in black bloc and they fucking parade the streets during Proud Boy fucking protests, and they fucking do like reconnaissance at like protests, and they're no, now again, that's not to say that they should be doing that. They're in a different lane. But the idea that you're going to call them like an extreme fringe, the Rational National is the extreme fringe? Like, bro, what the fuck are you on drugs of some kind? Now, I say this, I'm on drugs right now. But I'm on the drugs that makes me have more fun. She's on the drugs that makes her brain fucking turn into goop. Okay? The idea that, like, she is lying. That's the thing. She's like, oh, they're lying about us. You are calling the leftist mafia like a far left extremist fringe show. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, you can call me a fringe show. I personally think I am way more fringe than the leftist fucking mafia. I come on my show talk about how we need to abolish roads, we need to abolish fucking prisons, right? We need to abolish fast food, we need to abolish plastic, we need to abolish fucking social media, for Christ's fucking sake. We need to abolish all kinds of stuff. We need to abolish religion. God, I know Humanist Report hates religion too. Shout outs to him. But like, I consider myself to be fringe. I look at the leftist mafia. They're great. I love their content when I watch it. I don't watch it often. I don't watch political content as much as I used to. But they are not an extreme fringe show. It's not. Okay, it's just, that's a fact. So just get that
Jake,
out.
I never want to talk about them again. I never want to address them again. It's a waste of time. There's important stuff going on in the country. Our personal drama with a bunch of leftists on Twitter doesn't matter.
All right.
So they say that, then Cenk Uygur 2 days later goes on a right-wing television program on mainstream news. Like, I don't want to collaborate with leftists ever again. They're all crazy. I hate them all. They're all fringe. By the way, let's go on some right-wingers show. And again, this is why these people are fucking insane. But let's keep going.
You getting involved in this?
Yeah. So, Dan, look, we've got a massive problem in the country overall that no one is representing what I call the silent majority, which is about 2/3 of this country.
Now, notice the silent majority, I know it can be used in a neutral way. It is often a term that right-wingers use. They often use the term silent majority. I understand what Cenk Uygur is trying to do is he's trying to flip that into weaponize that term for his own perspective, but it's failing. It's not working properly. One, because again, he's unintelligent, and two, he refuses to actually identify his terms. So all he's doing, really, all it amounts to is he is just using right-wing language and right-wing framing. And the only thing is, instead of saying woke, he is saying far left. Instead of saying woke, he is saying fringe, extremists. But it's the same argument. It's the same argument. Let's keep going.
Country that I would argue is indisputably progressive. So I could show you the polling on it.
I would argue, by the way, that most Americans are not progressive. We live in a situation where only 16.7% of Americans in 6 months have gotten a free, safe, no cost, effective, free vaccine for a pandemic that is killing thousands of people. 16%. Thousands of people a week, I should say. Only 16% have gotten the free vaccine. Only 16%. So I don't give a fuck about polling. I'm kind of a motherfucker that says actions speak louder than words. Someone can say, I believe in free healthcare, and then there's a free healthcare in the form of a vaccine and they refuse to get it. They don't believe in free healthcare. Actions speak louder than words. That's my opinion. And now I can use all kinds of terms. Now, I can use all kinds of examples. Do Americans really think that transgender people are all great? Most Americans don't like me. Why? Because I'm transgender. Now, there's a lot of other reasons why a lot of other Americans don't like me. But most Americans, right, they see transgender people and they go, ugh, freaks. Now, they might not think that transgender people deserve the attacks that they get from right-wingers, right? They might be neutral on it. But the idea that most Americans are fundamentally progressive is just wrong. It's wrong. I personally think it's a conspiracy theory, because if the only evidence you're going off of is polling, I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe that people that say things on a phone actually translate to any actual actionable things. That's my opinion. Now, we can have that argument. I'm down to have that argument. I'm not I'm not telling you that this is a fact of nature here. There's a law of physics. I'm down to have that argument. But I do think it is fallacious to think most of the country is progressive. I don't believe that. I really genuinely don't. Okay, now again, I'm not saying that I think Cenk is lying per se. I just think he's wrong on this one.
You name it, paid family, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, universal health care, minimum wage, you name it. The country is progressive. The problem is,
one of the other issues is the word progressive also doesn't really mean anything. Like, yes, most people are in favor of an increase of minimum wage. Does that make them progressive? I mean, in a technical sense, yes, because they are advocating for progress. But does that really make them do they have a left-wing ideology? Do they have a liberal ideology? That's the other thing. Is it it's a class reductionist argument? People support a minimum wage increase, therefore they're progressive? What? That's you can maybe make that argument if you had a couple other factors in here, but like universal healthcare, well, we know actions speak louder than words. Most Americans didn't give a fuck about universal healthcare when we had it for the last 3 years. In one instance, in a trial run, just to be very clear, in a trial run, the U.S. government got off its ass and gave us a trial run at what a free, effective healthcare system would look like. 80% of Americans, more than 80%, 83% of Americans said, fuck that shit. I don't care about vaccines. Vaccines are evil. Right? They're fucking stupid. By the way, again, free, safe, effective. Get fucking vaccinated. But, okay, now again, so I believe actions speak louder than words. But does it really make you a progressive to believe in a fucking, like, in taxing the rich? Is that really progressive? I don't think so. I really don't. Okay. And if it is, then progressive doesn't have a definition that we can use in any actual way.
Democratic Party doesn't represent them because they're the corporate establishment and they represent their donors. So, well, obviously the Republicans don't represent them. So that just leaves us progressives out here in the wilderness. Well, the problem with the progressive movement now is folks on social media from time to time completely misrepresented. Now, I want to be clear, what I would call the extreme left.
Now, note, by the way, again, extreme left, never defined, not going to be defined. It's not defined. It's, instead of saying, imagine Cenk is saying woke, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Don't have bad intent. I think the right wing has bad intent. I think it's arguable whether the corporate wings of both parties have bad intent. But the extreme left is not helping our situation. So when you've got 2/3 of the country on your side, lean into winning issues. And by the way, trans rights is a winning issue. And we've defended trans rights probably longer than any show in American media history.
So I just want to say this. This is another point to my earlier point, another piece of information. They always love to talk about the track record. The track record. We've been doing this for so long. Look how great we are. Right? Okay, first of all, I just want to say this. Thinking trans people should not be executed does not mean you support trans rights. The Young Turks has done, and again, regardless, I don't give a fuck, right? I don't give a shit all your little fucking, qualifiers. I've seen videos of Cenk and Anna talking about transgender people in sports and buying into right-wing conspiracies. I've seen Anna Kasparian talk about biological women in sports. Right, so I just want to say this. Like, they have fallen for all kinds of right-wing propaganda on transgender issues, right? That does happen. Now, you can say that they've learned from that. I say they haven't, very clearly, by this whole thing, right? So again, this idea that they're perfect because they don't want to eradicate transgender people, as if that's like a litmus test, right? Now, again, that's good. I'm glad that they support transgender rights, broadly speaking, but this idea that, like, that makes them so special, that, like, oh, well, it's conditional, because that's really what it boils down to. Is it seems that it's conditional support. We support trans people as long as they refer to us in ways that we like, or whatever the fuck. And trans people, by the way, have you seen many trans doctors? Now, there's a lot of great trans doctors out there, but it takes like a long time to go through medical school. A lot of people don't really end up doing it that are trans, especially, right? So it's like, have you seen many trans doctors out there that are like going out of their way to, like, it's just, again, it's fake outrage. It doesn't happen. And also, again, extreme left, never defined. He might as well be saying woke. Okay.
So now when we say something simple like, we're positive women want to be called women and they don't want to be called birthing people.
Now, again, that's not a thing. That's like saying, look at this fucking snot rag that I use because I have allergies and this is on my desk still. Look at this. I don't want to call this a hairbrush. Look how sane I am. I'm so sane. Look how sane I am. This is a used up tissue, not a hairbrush. God damn it. With the extreme fringe woke mob keeps referring to these tissue papers as hairbrushes. How dare, like, again, my point is, it's not a thing. No one is doing that.
Or people with uteruses. And by the way, some, like Anna, are actually offended by that. You're not being...
Now, again, Anna's not offended by that. One, because it never happened. And two, it's a branding exercise. But again, if she is offended by that, great, because then that's evidence that she's fucking stupid, right? So again, the two axes: dumbassery, unintelligence, stupid motherfucker, and branding exercise. So if she is offended by something that didn't happen, point for the stupid column. I don't believe she's offended. I personally believe she's lying on this issue, right? So, but I also believe it's possible she is stupid, but I don't believe she's actually offended by this, just to be clear.
Inclusive, you're being exclusive, and you're choosing to fight.
I love this. The trans people, this is like, you know, that right-wing memes, so much for the tolerant left, as if like leftists have ever right. But this is that same exact right-wing meme. Oh, the people that want maximum human rights for everybody, they're actually exclusive. The people that want equality for everyone so that everyone is treated equally under the law, actually they're the real bigots. You know what? Those leftists are the real racists. What?
On losing ground for no reason when we have all the winning ground in the world.
That's the thing, is it's not happening. It's a fake outrage.
So, and Dan, the other problem here is the right wing, when you have someone that agrees with them a little bit, like Chris Rock will take big pot shots at Republican white males, etc., but then he'll agree a little bit on cancel culture, and the right wing will say, that's it, Chris Rock's one of us, right? On the left wing, we have the exact opposite situation, where somebody could fight for you for 200 years in a row. The minute they don't agree with the most extreme thing you've ever said.
Can we talk about, by the way, the idea that using medical language is extreme? Like, I already used the analogy of someone with tonsils or someone with an appendix, or, you know, someone with a certain, like, let's say if you had chickenpox as a kid, you may be more at risk for something else like, you know, shingles or whatever, right? The idea that that is somehow dehumanizing, again, you just have to be, the only way you can make this argument and not be lying is if you are a stupid person. Like, and I really need people to understand this, okay? I don't give a fuck what anyone's track record is. If you genuinely believe that on a poster, someone being referred to, someone saying, if you have a uterus, check out for this. If you believe that that is exclusive in any fashion, or extreme, like fucking Jesus fucking Christ, you know, as someone who actually considers themselves an extremist, I mean, wow, the idea that this is extreme, fucking a body organ on a medical pamphlet is extreme, like Jesus fuck, right? But again, there's two options, and it's probably, or both, but the only way that you can actually sincerely say that a medical pamphlet is extreme is if you are a stupid person. And I really need people to understand that. Now, that is not me saying that Cenk Uygur is stupid. I personally believe that it is probably an 80-20 situation. He's kind of stupid on a lot of issues, but I mostly believe he is weaponizing his position to gain power and influence in a shifting demographic. That's my opinion. But again, if you take Cenk Uygur at face value, if you take Ana Kasparian at face value and assume they are not lying, then the only other option is that they're fucking dumb. And I know that that's going to put a lot of people off. I know I'm going to lose a lot of people that follow me for whatever reason. I know that's going to trigger people. People are going to be disappointed in me, I'm sure, whatever. I don't care. If you genuinely believe that someone, like, if you have had your tonsils removed, how dare you? I'm not someone who has had my tonsils removed. I am a woman! Right? Like, the idea, if you actually, you have to be dumb. You have to be. Or lying. There's no in between. Now, if you want to argue with me, I'm down to debate it. Come on my show. Let's debate if there is an in between those. But the only way you can be offended by something that's not real is if you're stupid or lying.
That's it. We're cutting them off. They're right wings. They're fascists. They're transphobes, etc.
Yeah.
We got to win elections so we can protect the LGBTQ community and all of us.
Again, it's conditional supports. That's the end of the clip. But I need people to understand liberals are fundamentally useless. This was my major thing when I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, is liberals are useless. If there's conditional support, It's not support. I support the rights of these marginalized groups, but some of them are a little uppity, so maybe I'll change my mind. If it's conditional, it's not actually support. But again, I think I spent way too long talking about this. But I'm going to make some sweet ad dollars off this clip, baby. Let's go! I'm making my name off of TYT hate. That's right, everybody. Look at me. I'm doing it. I'm hating on TYT for the money. For the fucking money, everybody. Look at this. Look at this. This is what hating on TYT gets me. Look at this. This is what I get from hating on TYT. Look at the money. I'm raking it in, folks. I'm raking it in. This is not real, just for reference. This is, I bought this on the internet. It's just printer paper. But still. Either way, the fundamental point here is that you can say extreme left or woke. They are synonyms, right? In this instance, Cenk Uygur is acting like Ben Shapiro. In this instance, he is identical. And the only two options here, or both, it's possible it's both, but either Anna and Cenk are stupid, they're dumb, and I know that that's going to get me canceled. I'm going to get on a blacklist on every single progressive show because everyone sucks these motherfuckers off so hard if you say anything wrong about them. How dare you? I'm going to get blacklisted. I don't care. Either they're stupid and dumb, lazy, unintelligent, or they're lying, or both. I'm willing to believe it's both. But action-wise, if they are stupid, they can be educated theoretically. Now, there are people that are so fucking dumb that they can't actually be reasoned with in any way and they can't be educated. That is true. I don't necessarily believe that Cenk and Anna meet that category definition. I believe if this is the case that they are stupid, I think somebody can reach out to them and fix the situation. If it is the case that they are stupid and only stupid and not also stupid and lying. But, right? But if it's the case that they're lying, which I personally believe is an 80-20, I think they're 20% stupid, 80% lying on this issue. If the issue is that they're lying, well, then what do we do? How do you deal with someone who is purposefully going out of their way to be irrational? And if you are a transgender person and you watch these programs and you're left wondering, holy shit, did these people even care about me at all? Well, they probably don't. Just to be honest, they probably don't. But again, if they're lying, I say throw them out. They're garbage. Fuck them. Fuck them. If they're lying. If we can find, as far as I'm concerned, the smoking gun is already there. So I say fuck them. But if you want to give me any sort of possible reason why the smoking gun is not actually a smoking gun, that, is an AI deep fake, with my analogy from a while ago, whatever, I'm willing to have that argument. I'm willing to be convinced that they're just stupid. I'm willing to be convinced of that. If someone wants to debate me on whether or not they're stupid and lying, or just stupid or just lying, whatever, I'm willing to debate that. But the chances that they're not lying on purpose, I don't see it. I don't see it. I really don't. But anyway, I'm sure this segment will get me blacklisted on every show. And that's great. And I'm happy about that because I don't fucking care about any of these shows anyway. Unless you want to invite me on. If you want to invite me on your show, I love your show. It's a great show. But if you're blacklisting me, fuck you. Fuck your show. Fuck your ass shit, okay? Anyway, that's my opinion. As a transgender, that's my opinion. But anyway, those are the clips for today. We got some super chats. What the fuck? You people in your goddamn fucking super chats. Brooke H, member, says, I like when Andrea reads in an accent. I've had memberships for 7 months. Jesus Christ. It all confuses me. This is from Environmental Coffee House. $5, $4.99, I should say. It all confuses me, so I keep my mouth shut and learn. My motto is live and let live, I guess. I agree with that. If you don't know what you're talking about, you just sit back and watch. That is something a lot of people need to really practice. I do that all the time. If there's an issue that I don't know much about that's gaining a lot of attention in the media, I don't cover it until I know what I'm talking about. An example is anything in regards to foreign policy. I am not a foreign policy expert. The only thing I know about is from reading a couple of books and watching a few podcasts and reading watching documentaries and stuff. So if there's going to be shit like, when Russia invades Ukraine, I don't really know about the history of Ukraine and Russia. To be honest with you, I didn't really know much about it. So I stayed out of that whole thing until I learned enough about it to actually talk about it. And a lot of these people that you watch on YouTube don't do that. And that's why I am not popular, because I'm not hopping on trends. I'm not going to talk about something before researching it just so I can hop on the ad trend. I'm not doing that shit. But anyway, Rielon says, 70s ours. Happy pre-birthday to Environmental Coffee House. Birthday cake emoji. What is that? Like a fucking, one of those bugle things with the fucking confetti emoji and the hands in the air with some weird lines in between them. Emoji, can we sing happy birthday for the outro? If I remember to do that, I will do that. Anyway, again, everybody, this is your long show today. I will not be here for the weekend. I'll be back on Tuesday. Unless something happens that I feel the need to make a random one-off video about, which probably won't happen, but it's theoretically possible. Either way, I hope you've enjoyed it. I have blacklisted myself on purpose from every other progressive news show. And there you go. So fuck them. That's the other thing about TYT, by the way, is like they really do believe that they're like the fucking king and queen makers, Like if you shit talk them, then you like, and it does happen. Like, like a lot of people will blacklist you if you shit on TYT. But in this instance, I'm willing to run the risk. There you go. I'm going to go eat breakfast. Everyone have a great day. That's it. Oh, it's not it. Subscribe to my channel on youtube.com. I don't give a shit if you like games or not. Doesn't matter to me. Think of it as a free donation. You give me money by clicking the subscribe button for free. Check it out. Have a great day, everybody. And I will see y'all later. Or hold the phone. I got to make sure that I don't blow your ears out with this fucking shit. Okay.
Well, look, my wife has a rule in our family. When somebody's birthday, we sing happy birthday. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Valen. Happy birthday to you. Well, it's hell turned to 30.
They left everything. They left in the dark of night. They left the lights on. They left the dogs, by the way. People they left about the dogs. They left the dogs. Everyone, the dog lovers. And you got a lot of them. I love dogs. You love dogs. But they left the dogs. People